You deserve to be happy and healthy.
Hey folks, Joyce here, your culturally conscious health coach. Thanks so much for stopping by. This channel is for people who want to start or refresh their healthy habits. So if you're interested in doing just that, make sure to hit the subscribe button and watch all the way to the end for bonus tips. So October is Filipino-American History Month, and the first week actually coincides with Hispanic Heritage Month as well. So to celebrate both cultural observances, we're going to make chicken tinola, and I will tell y'all what the linkage is between Filipino and Mexican culture. Let's go ahead and get started. First up, the aromatics. We have garlic, onion, and ginger. And for the protein, I prefer to get whole chicken because all these bones are really gonna flavor that broth, but you are welcome to buy or use cut up chicken, chicken thighs, legs, wings, breasts. This is a Filipino fish sauce, patis. It is more pungent than the other Southeast Asian fish sauces, so highly recommend this. We have whole black peppercorn. This comes frozen, so you have to thaw it out. It's horseradish leaves or malunggay leaves. If you are lucky to find it in a Latin market, it's going to be called moringa. And last but not the least, the link to Filipino and Mexican culture is chayote or sayote in Tagalog. While we're peeling the sayote, let's talk about the squash. In this book, Tikim, which is a series of essays collected by Doreen Fernandez, there's a piece titled The Flavors of Mexico in Philippine Food and Culture. It is written by Rafael Bernal, and he says, food was among these humble but important culture-bearing objects brought to the Philippines by Mexican officials, friars, by soldiers and sailors, the guachinangos, Bernal calls them. So this was in the late 1500s. The grains, fruits, vegetables, and dishes that traveled from Mexico to the Philippines are not only recorded in history, but are especially engraved in the language. Hence, chayote, sayote. To learn more about chayote, make sure to watch this video, How to Prep Chayote. Link is above and in the description below. Now that this package is thawed out, we can cut it up and squeeze out any remaining water. Pro tip for y'all is to make sure you wash your hands right after you squeeze the water out of this bag, and do not take the leaves out until the last step, y'all, because if you do, you're gonna lose a lot of these nutritious leaves in the transfer process. And this is ready for use. So let's prep the aromatics. Peel the ginger, cut on a bias, and then thin strips. Peel the garlic, cut into thin slices. And lastly, the onion, so you're not crying through the other prep, cut into medium dice. Now that the aromatics are ready, let's break down this 3.8 pound whole chicken. Start with the legs, the thighs, the wings, breast, and back. On medium-high heat, I'm just gonna spray this with some avocado oil. We're gonna brown the chicken pieces. The chicken has been browned in batches, and be careful not to over brown the breast, otherwise they'll be really chewy. So now we have this residual oil. We're going to go ahead and cook up our aromatics, onions first. We want them just to get a little color on the outside. Let's add our ginger. Stir it for about a minute. Now let's add our garlic. Don't need to have it stay for too long. We're going to add our chicken. And make sure to stir that up real good. We'll add our water. Make sure all the chicken pieces are submerged in the water. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of patis and a tablespoon of black peppercorns. We're going to stir that up, and we're going to cover it and simmer on medium-high heat Okay, it is simmering nicely. And you can tell that there's some film at the top. So we're going to remove that with a small metal strainer and a metal bowl on the side to collect the film. It's been about 20 minutes. Now let's add our chayote or sayote. Let's stir it in so it actually is covered all the way by the broth. And we're gonna let it simmer until the squash is tender. Let's take a peek. Okay, it looks like there is some more film coming up to the top, so we're going to skim that off as well. Okay, let's check the sayote for doneness. And is it fork tender? This is not as tender. Let's check some other pieces, and the other pieces are tender-ish. So my recommendation at this point is to cut the heat, because this has a lot of residual heat and you don't want to overcook these precious chayotes or sayotes. And now we're going to use the spoon to take out the malunggay leaves. This is the final step for our chicken tinola. All right, and we're just gonna stir it up in there. And just look how it's coming together with the beautiful malunggay leaves. Let's stir up as best as we can so every scoop of this is going to have the leaves. Half a cup of rice, purple rice. Sorry to interrupt this beautiful visual, but if you're curious about brown rice, check out my video, How to Reduce Arsenic in Brown Rice. A chicken wing here, piece of chicken breast, and of course our gorgeous gourd chayote. We'll get a few more of those pieces to add to our daily vegetable / fruit intake, because y'all know that squash is actually a fruit. And we're going to add a little bit more broth. Let's go in for a taste test. Some rice with the broth. I can taste the ginger, the fish sauce. It's not overbearing. Oh, perfectly tender on that sayote. This is the chicken breast, which is a leaner part of the chicken. Not dry at all. I'm gonna end this video because I want to get in on this. So that wraps up our video on the chicken tinola recipe. Thank you, maraming salamat y gracias for joining me for Filipino-American History and Hispanic Heritage Month. If y'all have any questions or feedback, please put them in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share, or hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you have, thank y'all so much. See y'all soon, and remember, you deserve to be happy and healthy.